Guys, my name is Nonima Digela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, today I want us to deal with something that was not just strange. It was legally frightening, if I can put it that way. I'm not a lawyer, but I can popola ingus when I see one. Let me repeat that again for you so that if you missed it, you understand what I was saying. I'm saying I want us today to deal with something that was not just strange, but it was legally frightening. Because what happened with Qaniselani Makimba Buthelezi was not a small courtroom moment. It exposed a very serious question. Is this court treating defense witnesses with the same fairness it gives state witnesses? Qaniselani did not say, I refuse to answer questions. He said, I cannot speak about something I did not say, did not write, and know nothing about. That is not contempt. That is not defiance. That is not a witness playing games. That is a witness saying, do not force me to adopt a statement that I say is not mine. And this is where Judge Rata's handling becomes deeply troubling. Before warning a witness, before sending him to get legal advice, before adjourning the matter, the court should first do a proper inquiry. Ask him, do you understand the question? Are you refusing to answer? Or are you saying you do not know? Which part of the statement do you accept? Which part do you reject? Why are you rejecting it? But none of that happened today. None of it happened properly, right? Instead, it looked like the court jumped straight into consequences without first establishing the foundation. And that is dangerous because Section 189 of the Criminal Procedure Act deals with a witness who refuses to answer. But before that section can be used properly, the court must be sure that there is truly a refusal. Not confusion, not lack of knowledge, not rejection of disputed statements. And here is the nuclear bomb on it. Qaniselani is an inmate. Do you understand? He did not reject anything. He understands these things because he's been to court before multiple times in his life. Multiple times. So where exactly is he supposed to get a lawyer? He's an inmate. Where exactly is he supposed to get a lawyer? Who is arranging that consultation for him? Is legal aid being contacted? By who? How? When? Is correctional services being directed to facilitate access? Is the court explaining this, his rights clearly? What's happening? None of that is happening. You cannot tell an imprisoned witness, go get legal advice. Where? Correctional service. As if he can walk out of court, open Google, or call an attorney, book a consultation, and come back Friday, fully advised. What do you mean he must go get a legal advice? This is not reality. That is theater. One of those were theatrics from Judge Rata. And what makes it worse is the inconsistency. When the witnesses said, I cannot speak for another person, the court allowed it. Do you remember Tumelo Zandile, Tumelo Madlala, Zandile Kumalo, Mtokozisi Twala? Do you remember when they were like, I cannot speak? He allowed it. There were no issues. There were absolutely no issues. When they said they don't know something, it was accepted. When they avoided answering things outside their personal knowledge, nobody treated them as rebellion. No, it was never treated as if it's rebellion when it was there. Why is it the same? Why is that same situation not done here on this situation, Qaniselani? Do you remember Judge Rata protected Uzungu, the constable? The way he protected Uzungu, the constable. Do you remember when Judge Rata protected Steyn? Do you remember Captain Steyn? Yes, he came twice and Judge Rata protected him. Steyn. Now, when Qaniselani, a defense witness says, I cannot speak about something I know nothing about, suddenly it becomes a crisis. How? Make it make sense. So the question is simple. Why is the same courtroom language treated differently depending on which side the witness helps. Why is that the situation? This is not a small issue. That goes to fairness. That goes to judicial neutrality. That goes to whether the accused are receiving a fair trial. A judge is not just a referee blowing a whistle. A judge is the guardian of fairness. The judge must protect the record. The judge must make sure witnesses understand what is happening. The judge must allow counsel to address the court, especially when the accused have their hands up and lawyers appear ready to speak. But here it looked rushed, it looked impatient, it looked like the court wanted to adjourn before fully hearing the people mostly affected by the ruling. He made a ruling that nobody knew where it was coming from. And that is why this moment matters, because if Qiniselani's position is that the statement contains things that he never said, then the real legal issue is not whether he is refusing to answer. The real legal issue is who created that disputed statement, who's added those parts that he did not say, and why is the witness being pressured to answer for words he disowns. That is the bomb. That is where the entire situation lies. But Ujadrata is refusing to accept that. A witness cannot be punished for refusing to confirm unknown content. A witness cannot be punished into pushed into adopting a statement he rejects. And a defense witness cannot be treated more harshly than a state witness for doing the exact same thing, saying, I do not know. It can't be. So my issue is this: if the court is trying to establish the truth, is the court trying to establish the truth, or is the court trying to force a witness into a version that he knows nothing about? Because those are two different things. And in a murder trial where 5 accused people are fighting for their liberty, the court cannot afford even the appearance of unfairness. Yet Ujadrata practices the unfairness like nobody's business in that courtroom. He practices the unfairness like nobody's business in that courtroom. The way he switched off and was ready to run away before the witness can fully say what he wanted to say. It was shocking. It was embarrassing. And to say the least, I don't think it's going to end well for Ujadrata. Legally speaking, it's not going to end well for him, including the state. I don't understand who made him the state prosecutor, because all of these things that he is doing himself were supposed to come from the state. Why are they quiet and he's the one that is busy here? He's here himself. It's not making sense. And so, guys, I don't know. I don't know what this man is hoping. I don't know what this man is like every day. I remember saying a few weeks ago, a month ago, that the courtroom Ujadrata is full of drama. Courtroom Ujadrata, today the defense, they normally spark an intense debate in the Senzo trial. But today there was not even that thing of going to debating with him, because he closed off every angle. He was like closing off. He did not want to hear anything. They could not even ask. A person that asked any question was Mshololo, because she was not having it. The others were like, hey, it was just too much. It was even worse when all the accused had their hands up, wanted to speak to their witness. He's like, it has nothing to do with them. What do you mean? They called this man to come and be a witness here. What do you mean that it has nothing to do with them? Haibo, come on now, Ujadrata. I have never seen something like this, ever. It is the first time ever having a judge that behaves that way. It is the way he is. He's the worst presiding judge ever South Africa has ever seen. He's the worst thing that has ever happened in that courtroom, I promise you. I don't care who says what. Ujadrata is the worst judge ever. Never. Aibo. No, this is bad, guys. A man that does not respect other people, ever. He does not care. All he cares about is his seniority, empty seniority. Where is his thesis? Where is his thesis to show that he's a man of caliber? Where is his thesis? Can we see that? Now, I don't have any, because I don't go around telling people that I'm so senior than them. So where is anything that he has wrote that people are proud of? Can we see his thesis, please? Oh, we want to see it, please, to show that he's a big boy. Where is that? He doesn't have. Yet he wants everyone to fear him, not even respect him. He wants to be feared. For what? For what? Doesn't even make sense. Guys, singathetha kuse ngalo tata, I am telling you, because wow. Oh, what a wow. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to Richard Rata? Nah, I am still stuck in one thing. Bring a witness. Go consult with who? With who? How? How the hell must? Oh, to do you know what's so worse? Is Mshololo proposing? Okay, fine. Can we speak to the witness while the state is present? He refused, guys. He refused for the defense to speak to the witness, consult with the witness regarding the portion of him, Judge Rata, saying he must look for defense for a lawyer. Hi, Bo. Hi, Bo. Kanjan manje. That was the worst thing ever in that courtroom of China. What are your thoughts when what was your one thing that you felt like, wow, I have never seen this? Because sana logos kwabizandla. Let's talk with comment section. I want to hear your views. Please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you'll be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.